The Chicago Sky are one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen. And today, their coach literally just waved the white flag. He quit. He literally just said, Phoenix Mercury, destroy us even more than you're destroying us right now. He basically benched all of his starters not long into the third quarter, just gave up.
This is what a complete and total surrender looks like on a professional basketball court. In a move that sent shockwaves through the WNBA, Chicago Sky coach Tyler Marsh did the unthinkable. Midway through a nationally televised game against the Phoenix Mercury, he waved the white flag. He didn't just call a timeout or make a substitution. He pulled his entire starting lineup, including star rookies Angel Reese and Cardoso, and effectively forfeited the game. This wasn't a strategic decision to rest players. This was a public admission of defeat the moment a coach quit on his team, and the breaking point for one of the most dysfunctional franchises in sports today.
Chicago Sky is more like Chicago, why are you on TV? Like, they're an embarrassment, bro. There's a reason why the Indiana Fever are on TV all the time, because they actually have a good product, when they have a good game, even a bad game, they're still actually fun to watch. This is horrible. Chicago Sky is an embarrassment, bro. The WNBA definitely screwed up having this game as a national televised game. They screwed up bad.
But this jaw-dropping surrender wasn't a sudden collapse. It was the inevitable conclusion to one of the most disastrous starts in WNBA history. Before the Phoenix game even tipped off, the Sky were already a sinking ship. They had lost 5 of their last 6 games and were averaging a league-worst 18.9 turnovers per game. To put that into perspective, most competitive teams hover around 13 or 14. The Sky were essentially giving their opponents 5 or 6 extra possessions every single night.
I don't know what's wrong with them. But, like, they could lose this game by 40. Like, I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with this team. Because today it wasn't even... I don't even think that this was an effort thing. Like, I don't even think this was an effort problem. But, at the end of the day... Like, they're just not good.
Their 0-4 start tied the worst in franchise history, and their 60-point differential through the first 2 games was the worst mark the league had ever seen. This wasn't just a team struggling to find its rhythm. This was a team performing the basketball equivalent of trying to defuse a bomb while wearing oven mitts. The signs were all there. The foundation was cracked, the walls were crumbling, and the game against Phoenix was about to bring the whole DMN house down.
And Chicago Sky fans, hell, they're ready to run Tyler Marsh's ass out. I mean, the way he's playing Angel Reese, I'm going to be real with you. I mean, the one thing she could do was rebound the ball, and he has taken that away. He has taken that away. So much for coming off a triple-double.
And then came the game that turned a slow-motion car crash into a public execution. The Phoenix Mercury came out swinging, establishing a commanding 31-18 lead in the very first quarter. The Sky, true to form, immediately began self-destructing, committing 8 turnovers that the Mercury gleefully converted into 13 easy points. It was a nightmare from the opening whistle. Phoenix was shooting an incredible 56.5% from the field and a blistering 57.1% from three-point range.
Yeah, I think that, we got a couple players that are banged up, so we want to be mindful of minutes. I think that, when the game got out of hand there midway through the third, for us, it was more preservation at that point, and players were almost at their limit anyway, being on a back-to-back, and so we wanted to be mindful of that, and, if the game wasn't as out of hand, then maybe it would have looked different, but we got to be healthy and ready to go into Atlanta tomorrow. We got 3 games in 4 days with LA on that following Tuesday. So we got to be mindful of having healthy bodies so that we can give as good of an effort as we can going into tomorrow's game.
They weren't just making shots, they were turning the United Center into their personal shooting gallery. The bleeding didn't stop after halftime. Phoenix opened the third quarter with an 11-3 run, blowing the lead up to an embarrassing 25 points. The game was no longer a competition, it was a beatdown broadcast in high definition for the world to see. But what happened next went beyond a simple loss. It was a moment that would define the Sky's season of failure.
I am here to tell you guys, man, when it comes to the Chicago Sky, no one could have predicted that this team was going to be this bad. I mean, they are horrible, bro. I mean, my goodness. If you guys haven't heard by now, the Chicago Sky has lost another damn basketball game, this time to the hands of the Phoenix Mercury. The Phoenix Mercury put BTA all over the Chicago Sky. And I'm here to tell you, Tyler Marsh is getting the focal point of the blame, bro. But to me, you have to blame the players of this damn basketball team, starting with the leader of the team. I just gotta be honest. That is Princess Barbie Angel Reese. Man, she's been trash. Just horrendous. I just gotta be honest.
Meet Tyler Marsh, the man hired to be a savior who instead became the captain to first abandon his ship. With a championship pedigree from his time with the Las Vegas Aces, Marsh was supposed to be the basketball whisperer who could unlock this young team's potential. Instead, as the deficit ballooned to 25, he looked down his bench not for a solution, but for an exit. In a move that sent shockwaves through the league, he pulled both of his star rookies, Angel Reese and Cardoso, from the game. He benched his entire starting unit, effectively forfeiting with nearly a half of basketball left to play.
Angel Reese got completely exposed today, man. Y'all see how she only took one shot today versus the Mercury and only had 2 rebounds? This goes to show she can't get all those rebounds without taking hella shots, getting her own misses, man. You've been completely exposed today, Bricklaying Slaw. Completely. When you ain't taking all these shots and missing all these goddamn layups and shit, you can't get your rebounds. So your rebounds go down because no missed shots, no rebounds, man.
His post-game explanation was a masterclass in corporate damage control. He spoke of player preservation and being mindful of minutes on a back-to-back. But anyone with functioning eyeballs knew what they had just witnessed. This wasn't a strategic move to rest players for the next game. This was the coaching equivalent of calling your mom to pick you up from a sleepover because the other kids are being mean. It was a public admission of defeat, a signal that his players' dignity was more important than their competitive integrity.
Obviously, this is my third one. Obviously, it really meant something to other people today because it's me. And I just focus on basketball. I come into work every day and work. I don't complain. I don't care about anything else. I have bad days. I haven't been playing well at all. And I can sit here and just mope around and point the finger, but it's been me. And I take accountability. I come in every day and try to be better than the next and better than the last. And I know my teammates trust me. I know they have my back. Ariel has my back for everything. And I just love that being a part of a team that I know really trusts me and trusts my work, and everything else is everything else. I'm just here just to come to work every day and go home. That's all I want to do, is just come to work and being able to enjoy my job that I love. People would die and kill to have this job. And being able to play with the best players in the world means a lot to me. I put my all in this. I do.
While the coach was busy drafting his surrender speech, the team's biggest star was crafting a different, far more bizarre narrative. Angel Reese has become a walking, talking paradox, a masterclass in cognitive dissonance. As her team was getting dismantled, her on-court performance was a major contributing factor. In her most recent games, she was shooting a career-low 31.3% from the field. Against the New York Liberty, she went 0 for 8. Her rebounding, supposedly her signature skill, vanished in the Phoenix game, where she grabbed just 2 boards.
So I had to spin the block. Tyler Marsh, it's time to go. You still have no game plan for the Chicago Sky. And it seems like the games where you're only running offense through Camilla and you don't have offense at least through somebody else is no plan for that. They're getting blown out extremely bad. I don't understand it.
She was, for all intents and purposes, completely exposed. Yet, in her post-game interviews, you'd think the team was on the verge of a championship run. Reese stood in front of cameras, serving up a word salad with extra delusion dressing, talking about staying poised and giving ourselves grace. She praised the team for being super happy where we are. A statement so detached from reality, it felt like someone on the Titanic praising the quality of the ice cubes. This disconnect between her abysmal performance and her relentless positivity wasn't just confusing, it was deeply unsettling.
Tyler Marsh, he has to figure out how to get experience in understanding basketball. As far as the instincts of it, the right adjustments, and the flow of the game. He doesn't have a lot of experience in that aspect. And he struggles with that. And I think that's a huge problem with him. He struggles with that aspect of understanding the game, when to call timeouts, how to manage his players on the court and off the court, putting him in position to win.
But as Reese spun tales of unearned optimism, another rookie's talent was being silently suffocated by the chaos. Lost in the rubble of this dumpster fire is Kamilla Cardoso, the one player who actually showed up to play. Against Phoenix, Cardoso was a model of efficiency, scoring 17 points on a stellar 7 of 9 shooting. She was doing her job, playing like the high draft pick she was, but her efforts were completely buried under the avalanche of team dysfunction. The body language told the entire story. Multiple reports have documented Cardoso's visible frustration during games, particularly when Reese would derail the offense with a missed shot or a bad decision.
Tyler Marsh, okay, this might sound harsh, but I believe at this point he needs to be fired, along with many other players for our Chicago Sky. It's not just Tyler Marsh. It's not just a coaching issue. It's also a player issue. Rebecca Allen is just pretty much pointless. Haley Van Lith, pointless. We all know Kia Nurse has no business. Kia Nurse, along with Rachel Bannum, have no business being on our
She's been spotted looking toward the bench with an expression of pure exasperation, like someone searching for an emergency exit from a burning building. When Marsh benched both Reese and Cardoso at the same time, it sent a clear, unspoken message. It wasn't just about resting players, it was about saving his one functioning player from the on-court madness created by her teammate. Even a good performance the move implied couldn't survive this level of systemic failure.
Hey, Kamilla Cardoso was killing it in this game. 7 of 9 from the field, 77.8%. That's how a big is supposed to shoot. All right. Angel only shot the ball once. She did have 6 free throws, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 points. Kamilla had 17. And I got to tell you, some of these players can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. It was ugly.
This disaster can't be pinned on one bad player or one defeated coach. This is a sickness that has infected the entire organization. How does a professional team forget the absolute basics of basketball? The Chicago Sky front office built a roster with glaring fundamental flaws. They assembled a team that can't defend, can't shoot, and most damningly, cannot protect the basketball. Averaging nearly 19 turnovers a game isn't just a sign of sloppy play. It's a symptom of a deep-seated identity crisis.
So true is that this roster unfortunately was not built for success. With Courtney Vandersloot going down with the ACL injury, I just don't know how the Sky are going to weather this. See, teams have the Chicago Sky figured out. They figured out that they can go crazy from behind the arc because the Chicago Sky's perimeter defense is just not there. It's not effective. I was on the floor. I saw them fighting to get around these screens. They just can't get there. Whatever.
The franchise chose to build its entire brand around players who were not ready for the responsibility, ignoring obvious warning signs from their college careers about shooting struggles and consistency. They have the worst defensive rating in the league, allowing opponents to shoot over 45% from three-point range. Every game turns into an unintentional three-point contest where the Sky are the unwilling participants. This is a complete organizational meltdown, a cautionary tale of what happens when hype and marketing are prioritized over sound basketball strategy.
You guys spent the week working on handling pressure, and then this game was tough. I guess, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I think sometimes handling pressure is mental as much as it is physical. And you know, we didn't do it consistently enough tonight. Another 20+ point or 20+ turnover game, which is it's tough to win when you add that with giving up 2 30-point quarters to a team as good as Phoenix. It makes it tough.
The problems in Chicago run far deeper than just their 2-star rookies. When your foundational players are struggling, you need a reliable supporting cast to stabilize the team. The Sky have the exact opposite. They are saddled with a collection of players who are either ineffective, ill-fitting, or simply don't belong on a competitive WNBA roster. Players like Rebecca Allen and Kia Nurse have been described as pointless additions, providing little to no impact on either end of the floor. There is no veteran presence to calm the chaos, no secondary scorer to take the pressure off, and no defensive anchor to stop the bleeding. The roster is a mishmash of spare parts that were never designed to work together. This systemic rot means that when Reese and Cardoso falter, there is absolutely no one to pick up the slack. They are on an island surrounded by teammates who only compound the problems, turning every game into a desperate fight for survival. The most infuriating part of this whole debacle is that it was entirely predictable. The architects of this disaster can't claim they weren't warned. Anyone who watched Angel Reese's college tape with a critical eye could see the potential for this kind of struggle at the professional level. Her game was built on high volume, low efficiency scoring, and overpowering smaller opponents for rebounds. A style that was never going to translate seamlessly to the WNBA, where the athletes are faster, stronger, and more skilled. The shooting deficiencies were not a secret, they were a well-documented liability, but the Chicago Sky organization, blinded by the bright lights of celebrity and marketability, chose to ignore these giant red flags. They gambled that Reese's star power would be enough to build a franchise around, and they didn't bother to surround her with the shooters and playmakers needed to mask her weaknesses. This wasn't bad luck, it was a calculated risk that has backfired in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. So where does this leave the Chicago Sky? They are trapped in a nightmare of their own making, a basketball purgatory created by a combination of a defeated coach, a star player lost in denial, and a front office that failed them both. Tyler Marsh's decision to wave the white flag may have saved his players from further humiliation that night, but it also marked the moment the franchise's competitive spirit officially died. Angel Reese's interviews have become must-see TV for all the wrong reasons, a real-time study in regressing while claiming to improve. And somewhere in the middle of it all, a genuinely talented player like Camila Cardoso is watching her rookie season get washed away in a sea of incompetence. The 2025 season will be remembered not for its wins or losses, but as a brutal public lesson in how to systematically destroy a professional sports team from the inside out.